Very disturbing video blog for you guys. Going through a lot of emails right now. I don't know what it is about. You know, maybe it's the new year coming up, or what's in the air right now. But I'm not gonna say their names and stuff. But a good 15, 20 different emails, kind of all talking, hitting around the same kind of issue here, the same question, and they're actually asking me this. They want to know what my take is, what my advice would be as we go into the 2013 year, to kind of get a boost. They want to get like that jump start to success, you know. And so they're asking me what my take, what my thoughts would be on starting the year off with a cycle of steroids, man. Get a quick jump start in that, you know. What's my thought on that? What's my feelings towards that? You know, you might as well ask me how it feels to give birth, man. You know, but I consider those questions the fucking same. Just like there's no fucking way a child's gonna come out of my body. There ain't no fucking way I put that shit in my body. And the fact that you're asking those questions, man, just fucking, you know, I'm fucking failing you, man. Everything about my site, you guys aren't fucking soaking in. Because at the end of the day, you know, the means to the end are so fucking valuable. Because those means are the blueprints, the recipes, the systematic approach to success. Where success doesn't define you, you define that. So when you look at it, you can do it again and again and again, because what you put in there, your equation of success, is an internal factor of mind, body, things like work ethic, dedication, due diligence, sacrifice, paying your fucking dues every day, building it from the ground floor up so it does stand the fucking test of time. So then when this endeavor is successful, you can turn to this avenue and hit success there too. There is no external factors to your program. Because who the fuck you are is enough. You don't need anything else. I don't need to be me plus a drug to be successful. You can't repeat that success because you're relying on something else, because who the fuck you are isn't quite good enough, is it? And you might get the glory and everything else, but you got a little help along the way you're not gonna tell anyone about. Everyone claps, you know, good job, way to go, way to get it, man, way to hit it, you know? And you say thank you and thank you and thank you. You should turn the fuck around and clap too for the fucking drug you took. Give that the credit, because that'd be the real honorable thing to do. The funny thing is that success that you so quickly are striving for, trying to cut the corner for a quick remedy to a solution, when it blows up, which it will, it takes not just the triumph, the fame, the accolades, but it takes your name, your integrity, your honor with it. And you're left so fucking low. Where everyone looks at you as, there's a cheater, there's someone I can't trust, there's a bullshitter. That's the worst case scenario of life, man. Worst case scenario. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, you know, when the crowd stops cheering for you and everything else, man, I don't know if you can even smile. Because the way you got it was a backdoor approach of bullshit, man. The metaphor would be like, you know, if you work your ass off and you earn $1, you know, that guy can earn another $1. That guy compared to somebody who's given $1. He didn't earn it, it was given $1. Well, for him to get any more wealth, he got to hope and pray and beg and plead for someone else to give him something else and give him some more and give him some more. Eventually someone's going to say, you know, fuck you, freeloader, I'm not going to give you any more. Well, then your wealth and your economic success and future growth, whatever, is done. You're at the mercy of something else. Just like in this profession of fitness or bodybuilding or performance in sports. If you're taking a third-party supplement, drug, something illegal to accelerate the success module, because one, maybe you're just, you know, you started training too late, you know, you're trying to cram for that test of life. It doesn't work that way, man. Because when you do that, when it blows up, what you're doing is that your ego is writing a check. And your body pays with huge interest. That interest, man, 10, 15, 20 years off your life. Maybe even more. Now, I'm speaking firsthand here, guys, of people I know. Fitness model guys. I'm not gonna say their names, man, because, you know, rest in peace. But they're fucking dead. They don't walk in this earth anymore. Died in the early 20s, mid-20s, late 20s. Never hit 30, man. You know, guys that I know very well, man, in strongman competitions. You know, got a young wife and a year-and-a-half-year-old kid in his garage training, man. Heart attack, dead. Another guy wanted so much to be this fitness model guy, you know? So he started juicing, started getting some accolades and stuff. Body started growing. What he didn't know, he had a little bit of cancer that wasn't discovered yet. Well, that fucking grew too. And the two guys are racing at each other. His strength and his ego and all the trying to get covers, and cancer racing too. And who won that race? Well, he ain't here anymore. Guess you can draw that conclusion. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make a life worthwhile living. Something we're proud of. Something that we put our name to, that, you know, stands the test of time, gives us fulfillment, you know, net worth of life. Those things you can't go buy. No one can give them to you. You must earn them. And if you earn them the right way, the success, as great as that is a distant second to the amount of pride you feel and the confidence you have in any other endeavor of life, that you can do it too then. Your darkest hour, no matter how dark it is, still has hope. Because you've risen to the surface once and you can do it again. Because your systematic approach to any problem is built on the things you control the input and the output of. You're not relying on anything else. That's what it's got to be, guys. That's what it's got to be. Taking a cycle of steroids, man. Very, very dangerous thing. Mainly because you lose the greatest reward of the accomplishment. And the fact that you did it. You did it. You can't say that anymore. If you took something that helped you get it, that you don't tell anyone about. It's like your parents, you know? You get your report card back in high school and stuff, and they're all proud of you because you got an A in the class, right? Well, would they still be proud if they found out you were cheating off your buddy in the class, or whatever you're doing? This was a total bullshit. You were cheating the whole time. The A looks good on the paper. You pass the test, you know, pass the class. But life ain't a test. And in real life, that classroom environment is supposed to prepare you for it. And if you tricked it there, you're going to try to trick it later. And later is when it matters. You're supposed to fail in that earlier stage. Learn your lessons. Apply your, what the failures, and learn from them, and apply what happened there, and to override it and fix a solution. That's where you develop the work ethic. If I work hard here, yes, I get the accolades of it. That's what's fucking awesome. But if you cheated it then and you got rewarded for it, you just learned a lesson on how to cut the corner. So then later in life, you're going to do it again and again and again and again, aren't you? Why wouldn't you? That's the way it worked, right? Well, later on, it's going to catch up to you, man. And at that time, it's not about a class that failed you might have to go to summer school for. No, it's just that you just lost your family's financial wealth. You, your wife, your kids. Welfare now. You can't go to school. Your kid can't afford the education anymore that you had. Limiting its its chances of being successful. That's you, motherfucker, did that. Or you get fired from the job, or you get thrown in jail. And not just you paying for it, but your family's paying for it too. Wow, I don't know about that now. Are you that shallow? Because I'll tell you what, man. The small things in life lead to everything else. If you pay your dues today, and you earn the honest dollar, then when you make your millions, you made them the same way. You can sleep well at night. No one's coming around, you know, IRS and audits aren't gonna come after your ass because it's done right. You know, check me out, man. I got no skeletons here. Look me up and down, motherfucker. I stand for something. Through the storms of life, through the sunshine, through the highs and the lows, man. I'm always standing, man. Last man standing. That's what it's all about, guys. Very valuable lessons, man. This is not, when I say this is a very negative video blog, very upset about this. You know, every bad has a silver lining. So let's talk about that now. Your underlying theme of these questions, of these 15, 20 guys, and 3 girls actually, they're asking these questions about doing a cycle to get the quick head start into the new year. Part of me is excited that you want to get ahead, you know. So let's just focus on that, okay? When you want to do a cycle of steroids, you want to increase your strength, right? It's gonna bring the levels of your testosterone in your body up. The higher your levels of testosterone, the more ability your body has to turn hard work into lean muscle mass and strength and speed and quickness and everything. That's so great. I mean, it's an amazing drug. It really is. Given the right time, the right place, under the right doctor's supervision, when it's needed. And when is that? It's like in your 30s, not in your 30s, but in your 40s and 50s and 60s. When your natural testosterone body, the way your body produces it, right? You know, it starts to slowly shut down. And if you are hitting in your 20s and 30s, you know, you had 100% production. As you get older, you slowly start to lose percentages of your body's ability to produce testosterone naturally. But guess what? If you hit steroids in your 20s, man, you just fucked yourself later, didn't you? Because you're giving your body something it does no longer need to produce. So if your body's working overtime to produce something, right? And you just put something in your body is smart. It says, oh, well, if I'm getting this, then I don't need to make it. So it stops producing its own testosterone levels. There's a hormonal shift right there from testosterone to estrogen. Both males and females have both. Males have more testosterone, females have more estrogen. That's what's in different matriarch between a male and a female. But when you start taking testosterone third-party style, steroids and shit, well, your body is still going to produce estrogen. It's going to stop the testosterone. So you got to keep on taking that, because after a while your body would stop. Won't even know how to restart it. Now we're getting really fucking dangerous right now, because you have to take it now, and everything speeds up. And if you got any defaults in your system, it's speeding that problem up too. Scary. So if you start doing that shit early on in life, man, you know, you are just basically cashing in the second half of your life for whatever today's that's so valuable, man. You are valuing today as the most valuable asset. Not willing to work today for tomorrow's betterment. Another fucking huge problem in the psyche of a champion. That's what it's all about, guys. It's the mindset. And when you achieve something that you did it right, that's an invincible power. Because you can apply that same fundamental approach to any problem in life and know you can come victorious. You might get knocked down once in a while, but you get back up and you will become that person. Because you've done it before. It's proven successful and you didn't need anything for it. You are good enough. You don't need that shit. Who you are is enough. But you start shortcutting the system, man. Another issue in the psyche of what a real champion is, man. They're valuing the success, the title, over the character of the person. You know, life's a marathon, not a sprint. That kind of mentality might win the sprint race, but life's a marathon. It's gonna fucking gas out before the end of life. And the thing is, if you're gonna do a cycle, guys, start the year off and you're gonna get all this boost, and you're like, yeah, man, that worked. And then you're gonna say, okay, enough? No. You can get addicted to that success because it came easy, you know? And so you want to do it again and again and again and again. And now we got the big problem, don't we? Because, you know, I can achieve it faster with this than with just who I am. You know, me, I've never done this shit before. That's when I said, like, ask me these questions, like asking me what it feels like to give birth. You know, I can't draw emotion on what you're fucking talking about. But what I can draw on is this. In my career, where I currently am right now is fitness modeling, right? When I climbed to the top, I've remained there 6-7 years straight now. I've seen people come and go. Everybody, come and go, come and go, come and go. No one remains, man. Very lonely. I'm the only one that's remained. And I'm still here. And why? Because my foundation's strong, man. It's unwavering, my character with it. There are no shortcuts in my life. I go all the distance because that's where I learned it all. Valuable lessons. Heartfelt at the time. And it sucks sometimes to feel those lessons and that hardship. But later in life, once learned, applied, and what could have been a very painful situation wasn't even an issue. Wasn't even an issue. All right, back on the positive side, the silver lining, always question. So you guys want to get stronger and everything else. What you want to do is you want to take a cycle to get your testosterone levels up. All right, we eliminate that. We're not going to do that. But what we can do is naturally boost our own testosterone levels. Increase them to the max of our potential of who we are. Like gas tanks, there's a lot of different types of gas tanks, right? Big, small, and everything else. It's who we are as an individual. Everyone's got a different fingerprint, different levels of testosterone we all have, right? What is our way, naturally, to boost our own testosterone levels, naturally, to get the most out of what we are, of who we are? Now, that's a good question. That's a question that doesn't get the most out of our efforts in the gym to get the most lean mass and strength and speed. We can do that naturally. Where our systematic approach to any situation is still internal, where we run the ship. How are we talking about this? I got a lot of tips, guys. Get your pen and paper, man. We'll go through all this. We're talking about body fat percentages. We're talking the way you work out, the way you sleep, your sex drive, different vitamins and stuff you can take. The times of the days you're working out. There's a lot of information here, guys. And I'm going to go through all these. And I'm going to do this video blog a little differently. So I'm going to pop up each tip before I talk about it. And there's a lot of tips. Here we go, pen and paper. First tip, guys, you gotta decrease your body fat percentage, man. If you guys are walking around with 20-30% body fat, man, you guys are shooting yourself in the foot. And why is that? Because the more body fat you guys are carrying around, the higher the chance of your body to store estrogen. It stores in the fat cells. And when that happens, it's a total dive in your testosterone levels. So the more body fat you have, the higher increase you have estrogen, the lower you have in testosterone. And that doesn't happen if you have like a 5 or 10% body fat. Not even maybe 15, but as you start pushing past 15 and 20 and 25, 30, you have a total hormonal shift from your testosterone as a man being more than your estrogen to estrogen to testosterone. So if you guys are carrying around that 20, 25, 30% body fat, well, that's the first thing that's got to go to be successful. To increase your natural testosterone levels, body fat has got to go. You got to get down to 15 below to really get the most potential of your body producing its own natural testosterone. Tip number 2, guys, no crash diets. We just said, hey man, you got to decrease your body fat, right? So you guys are like, oh my God, if I'm holding this much body fat, I got to get down. I got to get down now. Well, if you guys are doing crash diets, you're totally just fucking yourself in testosterone. Totally fucking. Because let's see, what are we talking about? It's off your calories. But if you're doing a crash diet, meaning like today you ate normally, whatever else. Tomorrow being a crash diet, you just totally went off the fucking grid on what you're bringing in, calorically. Well, your body's gonna go into a starvation mode. It's gonna go to a panic attack almost. It's like, oh my God, well, we're normally getting in, we don't even have that right now, and we're like, this is crazy. Your body is smart, man. It's a lot smarter than you think it is. So what it's gonna do is go, oh, we're starving right now, so we better fucking lock in what we have. When you're locking in what you have, man, you're basically in a total defensive state, right? Your body is. Well, when you're in a defensive state, you're not really thinking offense, are you? You're not thinking about how to grow muscles. When you're at a depleted state, say, I need to maintain this shit. Well, that's what's happening, man. So when you go into a crash diet, what's a crash diet? More than 15% of your caloric intake, normality of whatever it is. Whatever it is, you might be eating way too many calories right now. That's what put on that extra body fat, right? Well, if you want to get rid of that, guys, you've got to go down small increments. You cannot just crash. If you go down more than 15% of what your normal routine is in an overnight period like that, your body's going to go into a starvation mode. Starvation mode is a total defensive side. Then there is no offense. You know, boxing, you're just fucking ducking and hiding and just taking the punches. You're not delivering anything. So when you're not delivering anything and you're not having all offense, there's no need to grow. There's no need for your body to produce any testosterone. It immediately shuts down if you guys go on a crash diet. 15% of your caloric intake. So if you're on a 2,000 calorie diet, which you're not going to be on if you have all this body fat anyway, but just say for simple number math here, 15% of 2,000 calories is 300 calories. So if you're always eating, 2,000 calories and one day, boom, you're below 1,700 calories, your body's going to go into that kind of starvation mode and it's going to shut your testosterone levels down because there's no need to grow, it's just trying to maintain. So then you're like, Greg, well, how do we lose weight then? You still have to go into a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight and lose that body fat, right? But you don't do it on calories coming in. You actually have to work. You have to sweat it out. So you still have those 2,000 calories, or maybe you drop it down to 1,900, 1,850. Not more than 15%, which is below 1,700 calories. Maybe around 1,850, right? That's safe. That's the calories coming in, just like before. But we're going to drop that calories down even more through exertion and burning calories, through exercising. See the difference there? If you just stop eating, then you go into a crash diet. If you just slowly drop the caloric intake, just by a little bit, and then increase your exercise level, the net there is a calorie deficit. So you're gonna be losing weight very fast. No crash diets, guys. That totally crashes your testosterone levels. Third tip, guys, stress the muscles, man. Stress the muscles. Three-prong attack on stressing. The first part is, the more load you put on the muscles is the more demand, meaning the more weight you use. So if you guys are doing sets where you're doing like 50 reps, as opposed to a set where you're doing like 5 reps, the 5 reps is more stress of a load on the muscles. The more heavier it is, man, the more the body is getting its ass kicked in a short period of time. The more testosterone and circulating testosterone in the body that's being produced. One is a load. The second one is the time under tension. How long the muscles are being stress for, the demand on the muscles. So if you're doing those 5 reps, right, and you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as opposed to 1, 2, you see what I'm saying? There's more time on the muscle right there. That increases your natural testosterone because there's more work for your muscles to do. Your body produces more testosterone to build that so it doesn't get its ass kicked all the time. The third part is compound movements. The more times, like if you go in there and if you go in there and you lift legs and you start off, it's a bicep day, right? And you were to start with the legs, one of the biggest muscle groups in the body, right? And you start doing like maybe 2 sets of legs real fast. Well, your body's going to see that the big muscle groups, a lot of testosterone is going to be circulating because of that activity. And then you go into a bicep movement, right? Well, that circulating testosterone right there is going to be benefited into the biceps. So a lot of my workouts, guys, if you look at them, they're compound movements. Yes, I do a body part a day, and I go heavy to light, and supersets and everything else, continue to stress the muscles, right, in that period of time. But then I take a day where I do a full body circuit. And I come back and I shock it up, go outside the gym, come back in. All those things right there is compound movements. Compound movements where you're using like chest and back in the same day, a push to a pull. Or maybe you're doing like a testosterone boost where you're doing chest, back, and leg, that entire, triple set kind of workout for one workout, just to shock the system up. The more compound movements you're doing, the more you get added, the more testosterone is being produced. The more testosterone is being produced, the greater the end result of what you're doing, the demands being caused into results. Meaning, like, if I'm building my house, right, and it's just me building it, right, given an 8-hour day, I can only get so much done, right? There's only so much testosterone for one little muscle, being one worker building the house, right? But if I have a team of like 10 people here, that's 10 different muscle groups moving, right? There's a lot more testosterone being worked onto the house. In that 8-hour day, the productivity, more is being done than just one little muscle group being worked. So to recap this one, guys, stress the muscles. One is the load. Heavier is best. It's putting more demand on as opposed to a lighter weight just burning out in a conditioning practice, building the endurance of the muscle where you're doing like 40 reps as opposed to the 5 reps. So one is the load. Second is time on target. Slower reps, coming down on a 4-second count, boom, explosion, 2 seconds on the way up. Controlling the weight. Yes, you can't do as much. Again, get rid of the mindsets that I'm here to impress anybody. Leave your ego at the door. Don't come in here with that ego. Come in with pride, the positive confidence, the internal confidence, not the external factor of ego, the negative confidence. Come in there with that pride. Who cares what the weight is? Put the weight up there where you can control 5 reps heavy, as heavy as you can go, in control on a 4 down, 2 second up count. That's gonna get the most at the end of it all, right? Third, guys, is compound movements. Yeah, you go in there, like I love to do a body part a day. And I start really heavy when I'm doing those those sets of like 5, 6, 7, 8 reps, compound, superset and everything else. But then I'm going into shapers towards the end. So, but then, even though you're doing a body part a day, switch it up. Once you do an entire cycle, then do a full body workout. Or go in there and try doing a little bit of legs before you hit a bicep. Keep changing up, shocking that up. The more you're doing, that's bringing more workers to the house to work on that construction project. So the amount of time you're spending, you're getting more done because more testosterone is being circulated through the body because you're using more muscles. So therefore, at the end, the demand you're creating is turning into more result of the time and you're actually in the gym for. And when I'm talking about all this stuff, it's really the three-pronged success of any given rep. One is your form, guys. Your form is your bedrock. You never jeopardize a form. You don't jeopardize it for weight or speed or anything else. Perfect form first. Once you master the perfect form, then you master the time. Depending on what your goal is. If you guys want to put, if you guys are an athlete, performance stuff, you want to bring it down slow and then boom, power, push it up. If you're about putting just, bodybuilding stuff, you want to bring it down like on a 4, then on a 2, bring it back up. So, and then the third is the weight you're using, guys. So, and it's in that order. One is a form, second is a time of the rep, the speed of the rep, and the last one is the weight of the rep. The weight doesn't mean anything. The weight should be enough where you're hitting the certain targeted rep count you want. And in this situation, we're trying to increase our natural testosterone levels, especially early in the workout, more of a mass lift, we're going heavier. So it's in that ballpark of 5 to 8 kind of reps. Later in the workout, after we've hit all the major muscle groups, then we're trying to build the striations and the endurance of the muscle. That's when we're going more of a shaper lifts, the higher rep count, guys. So again, tip 3, stress the muscles, guys. Stress the muscles. Next tip, guys, rest and recovery. We're going to talk about our sleep patterns, and then we're going to talk about rest in between our workouts of different sets, and the rest in between the sets, and then the rest in between workout periods. First, 48-hour rule, guys. So if you're hitting chest one day, your chest is not going to be worked at a minimum for 48 hours. You don't, that's called overtraining. There's not enough recovery time. Again, we don't grow in the gym, we grow outside the gym with rest and recovery. If you shorten that process, then your efforts right there don't come to fruition to get the most out of your time in the gym. You must have a period of rest. I like to do a 5-day split where I'm doing one body part a day. A push to a pull, push to a pull, push to a pull, where I have a 4-day cycle in between before I re-hit that. Minimum, guys, is 48 hours, at least 2 full days. So if I'm working out in the morning on Monday, doing some kind of a chest routine, my chest is not going to be touched at the very earliest until Wednesday, guys. And even though I'd say another 24 hours, man, hit it on Thursday. Guys, you guys are doing multiple muscle groups, the same muscle group, inside that 48-hour window, 40% lower testosterone in studies. 2 guys, same people, say they're brothers, clones, right? One guy does chest, and then he does chest the next day. The other guy does chest and does it on Thursday. 40% lower testosterone delivered to that muscle group if they're exercised within a 48-hour period. On top of that, your sleeping patterns, guys. Your sleeping patterns. Anyone that's getting an average of 6 to 8 hours consistently every single day, guys, over 40% greater testosterone levels. Your testosterone is growing at nighttime. That's your highest level, man. When you wake up in the morning, you got morning wood. What the fuck's that all about? That's because that's your greatest point of testosterone boost is in the morning. So, hey, maybe a morning workout. I'll get into that part, another tip. But if you guys are shortcutting your sleeping patterns, guys, you're shortcutting your development of your body to produce testosterone throughout your body. If you guys are going in there and crushing it, and I know what's ideal and what's reality are two different things. Meaning, let's say this week is stressful, man. I got all this to do, and I got to catch up on that, everything else. Well, just know what you're doing to yourself is that you're lowering the performance of what you can get out of the gym. So if you can get that good 8 hours of sleep, you know, every single day for periods of time, right? Well, then when you go into the gym, you have the greatest chance of getting 100% out of your true potential of your natural testosterone boosted. Well, if you shortcut your sleep, guys, you are shortcutting the system of success in the gym dramatically. And how much? Over 40% volume. That's how huge it is, guys. And by the way, that sleeping thing, it's not like, oh, I got a good night's sleep, you know, tonight, so I should be good. No, it doesn't work for one night, guys. It's a systematic approach of like weeks at a time. The mean of a week or 2 weeks at a time. So if it's Wednesday, right? And yeah, I got some good sleep on Monday and Tuesday, you know, and got my 8 hours Monday night and 8 hours Tuesday night, so Wednesday I should be good to go. But on the weekend, you know, I went out there and I was a binge drinker and partying and everything else. I only got 2 hours of sleep on Friday and 2 hours of sleep on Saturday. Dude, I'm fucked that entire week, man. It takes at least 2 weeks of a cycle of getting 6 to 8 hours every single night systematically to have those optimal testosterone levels. 1 day or 2 days where you just crashed out, you pull all-nighters and stuff, dramatically affect your testosterone performance, because that's when it boosts up. That's like when you charge your cell phone at nighttime, guys. You go to sleep, you charge your phone, your phone's fully charged, it can last the entire day. But if you only charge your phone for an hour at nighttime, because you only sleep you guys an hour, you're not going to have full strength in that phone as you go into your day's activity. So your phone will probably die early in the day. Same kind of metaphor with your testosterone levels. If you want the highest peak as you go into the gym that day, well, you got to charge it up at nighttime, man. The last one here is your intervals in between sets, guys. Minute and a half when you're lifting a 70 or more % of your 1 rep max. So if you guys are going heavy in the beginning part of that workout, like I would suggest you guys do, start your workouts very heavy with those 5 to 8 reps kind of thing. Those kind of workouts, a big demand of weight on the muscles, right? Still with good form, still with good time under tension there with the speed of the reps. But when you're going like 70 to 75 or more % of your 1 rep max, guys, you've got to ensure you're giving enough rest in between to get the most out of the next set. That's at least a minute and a half. At least a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes in the earlier portion of the workout, guys. That's to increase the testosterone circulation throughout the body during the workout. Next tip, eat the right foods, guys. And the right foods are this. You must have a healthy diet. Testosterone needs fat to be produced. You need a fat-based diet in order to produce testosterone, but a balanced diet. 30% of your calories coming in should be in the form of fats, but the good, the healthy fats, the unsaturated, the mono and polyunsaturated fats, guys. People that have a healthy diet of eating nuts, they have a nut-enriched diet. Now, I'm not talking about the nuts down below, man. I'm talking about eating nuts, consuming nuts, guys. And I don't know why this is, and they're not quite sure of the studies and the research, but the studies come back saying that people that have a high nut-rich diet, I know it sounds weird, their testosterone levels are off the charts higher than someone that doesn't consume nuts each day. Now, you need those kind of fats for your body to produce testosterone. But that's just in your diet, your matrix coming in. The storage of fat is a very bad thing. So you have to have enough fats that your body consumes without too much that your body all of a sudden starts storing more fat. It's like that sponge, guys. You know, after a hard workout, your sponge, you know, is your muscle basically. You burn off all that muscle glycogen. It's dry. It's in the process of a sponge to absorb stuff. Well, in that point, when you come out of the gym, you want to pour nutrition onto that sponge. Your body sucks it up because it's in demand for it. You've created the demand. Now you give it the supply of nutrition, and boom, that's winning that nutritional war. But how much do you pour on? Because you want to saturate the sponge without oversaturation. That oversaturation in the balanced diet of too much fat produces a byproduct of stored fat. Why is that bad? And the whole testosterone, estrogen, you know, hormonal shift there, because estrogen's stored in fat. It's stored in fat. So what we want to do is prevent that storage from happening. Well, eating certain foods helps to break down the estrogen storages in fat. Those things are raw vegetables like broccoli or cauliflower or cabbage. Those types of veggies and stuff in a raw form, they have a chemical called DIM. That chemical helps to break down and flush stored estrogen levels out of the body. It all comes down to that caveman diet, guys. That's what I live by, where I'm getting all my veggies and all my meats and stuff, and I stay away from the carbs. Well, during that process, I'm getting all my fats, all my good carbs through, your fiber base. It helps to flush those estrogen storages out as well, and getting all my protein I need. The caveman diet also, if it wasn't food 100 years ago, it's not food now, meaning it doesn't have preservatives or pesticides in them. What's the problem with them? Well, one, they're foreign to the body, so your body's work 10 times harder to break them down and to convert them and get them out of the body, but they also hold a man-made estrogen. Those man-made estrogens are xenoestrogens, X-E-N-O estrogens. Those things are stored in the fat too. We don't want to put any more estrogen in our body, especially the man-made ones. That man-made ones are all in pesticides and preservatives in food. So we eat the raw natural stuff to eliminate that. But also those byproducts of those man-made estrogens are also found in any type of plastic Tupperware. It's also found in any kind of aerosol spray or cologne or something you might use. All those things have those man-made estrogens, so we want to eliminate them as best we can. Obviously, it's impossible to eliminate all of them, but little types of practices that when you guys are making food and you store it away, maybe you don't put it in plastic Tupperware, where those xenoestrogens, those man-made estrogens, can absorb into the food. You put in glass containers to eliminate that, guys. You get away from all the Febreze spraying in the house and everything else. You just clean the damn room, keep it like that instead of that. So eating the right things, eating those raw veggies of broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage. There's other ones, but those are the three big ones, right? They help to break down estrogen storages in fat and flush them out of the body. Eating nuts is a good monounsaturated fat that is much needed to help increase and produce testosterone levels in the body. Guys that have or women that have a very, high nut-rich diet, on studies show tremendous more testosterone levels in their body than someone who doesn't have, that's not eating nuts on a daily basis. And then watch out for those man-made estrogens, man. That's your pesticides and your preservatives, also the stuff that's in plastic and in any kind of aerosol stuff. So watch out how you store your food and then what you're actually eating, man. Next tip, guys, are the vitamins and the raw materials you want to take on a daily basis and make sure you have enough to help promote this testosterone levels in your body. Like the last tip was about the right foods you want to take, which is all your healthy fats like salmon and your nuts, your poly and monounsaturated fats, plus your raw cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower that has that DMI chemical. DIM chemical that helps to break down the estrogen buildup and help to flush it out and rid the body of that. Well, the supplements you want to take in the form of vitamins and minerals, guys, help. Really, the two things we're talking about here. The first thing is an amino acid, right? It's called D-aspartase. That amino acid is naturally produced in the body, in your pituitary gland, also in your testes. That amino acid is a huge booster in your testosterone levels. So make sure you go and you want to get about 3 grams on a daily basis of that to help to ensure you're getting the most testosterone boost in the body. On the flip side of that, there is an enzyme called aromatase. Now, aromatase is a motherfucker, man. It's stored in your fat cells, guys. Again, the more body fat you have, the more of these problems you have. It's like the more body fat you have, and the more closets you have in your body for estrogen buildup and for aromatase, for this enzyme to be. And what this enzyme is, its sole function is to take testosterone and convert it to estrogen, which is the fucking backwards approach of what we're trying to do, guys. Well, certain vitamins and minerals help to enable that enzyme from doing its work. Most importantly, zinc. Zinc in your body, man, and you having the right amount, which is 50 to 100 milligrams a day. Zinc's found in things like oysters and seafood and poultry, and a lot of your nuts and seeds, zinc's in. But when you have enough abundance of zinc, it enables this enzyme of aromatase to actually go from your fat cells to actually work. And what its work job is to take that testosterone that we want circulating throughout our body. What it grabs it and just grabs and pulls it into the fat cells and converts it into estrogen and stores it into our fat. So enough zinc in our body helps prevent that from happening. Also, vitamins of A, B, C, and E are really good to help promote testosterone levels too in the body. So again, the minerals we want and the vitamins we want, A, B, C, and E. Make sure you have your daily amounts of them. Make sure you're getting plenty of zinc, guys. And then maybe 3 grams of the amino acid D-aspartase. This next tip, guys, is a tough one, man. This is a huge problem right now throughout society, not just guys and girls. They're trying to get the most out of the gym, or trying to increase testosterone levels or anything else, but this is like a major problem, and it's just like it's overall stress that we self-induce, self-occur, self-control, and allow to exist. When you guys are stressed out, man, and I know we're in a tough economic situation right now, there's a lot of things going on. That stress and mental anguish we put on ourselves, along with the physical strain and stuff, especially if you're unhealthy and your body's not moving 100% efficiency. Well, if you're mentally stressed from financial or jobs or careers or relationships or anything else, it's like you're chained down a little bit. You can't move as fast. You're carrying this big heavy load on your shoulders all the time. You can't move at Mach speed. Well, the reason why, when you're in that kind of situation, your body produces a hormone called cortisol, and that cortisol shuts your testosterone down. It just enables it from happening. It also happens through physical stress in the gym after a hard workout. That's why I say when you're doing a workout, guys, you don't want to be doing a 5-hour workout, because you're not getting anything out of the back end of that workout. Your optimal levels in the gym is like an hour, maybe 45 minutes to like an hour, 15, hour and a half max, man. At that point, you've burned off all the energy of the body for that given activity of the muscle targeted region. The muscle glycogen is gone, so you just tap into reserve status. It's like your body has a way of pumping the brakes, otherwise you would just go, and you just kill yourself in a way. So a check and balance of that is when you're going too hard and you've burned off all the muscle glycogen and you're just running on an empty tank, and you just have this mindset, you're just going to go and go and go no matter what. You're just going to go until you die, basically, that mentality. Well, your body, in order to shut your shit down there, it produces and releases cortisol in the body, which basically just pumps the brakes on your ass. Physically, it happens after a long workout, towards the end of the workout, when you're taxed, you've done it all, you've left it all there. It's time to get the hell out in that hour and a half maximum time. But it also happens in the mental side of stress, guys. So you've got to eliminate it the best you can. And the way you do that, there's a lot of different techniques. Something I'm really starting to do right now is like, I get up a little earlier each morning, or right before I go to bed. I turn off all the lights and everything else, and I just sit there, I lay down, and I try to brain dump my thoughts. Meditation in a way, and it's a real art. I'm not that good at it, but I'm working. I'm trying to get better at it, because I really believe in the results of it. When you can sit there and like, we sleep, our body sleeps, but our brain is always running, and it never has an off, But if we can somehow just turn it off for a little bit, and just concentrate on breathing. There's different practices. If you guys go and research a little bit of meditation, I think you're going to find a lot of peace. 15, 20 minutes of meditation can give you a sense of relief and a recovery process and a rejuvenation that is it's like taking an 8-hour nap almost. It's amazing what it can do, because the brain is always working. On top of meditation practices and stuff, having the right plan of action for a day, knowing you have this much to do, right? Put it in a real winnable situation. Like, all right, so today I want to get all this done, but really, can I really get all that done? Let's break it down so that today's mission is achievable, for one. So after the day, I've achieved what I set out for, motivated, inspired to go into the next day to kick some more ass. But if you make this to-do list that's like unbearable, it's like 40 hours of work, which you can't do in a 24-hour period. Even though you kick ass in 18 hours, you're full charge and you get so much done, you're going to feel like a failure because you have so much more to do still. So the end result, you feel like you got your ass kicked, instead of being proud that, that you did so much, And a lot of failures and a lot of stresses in life is because people look on how much they have to go still, how much further they have to go. Never looking back and saying, wow, look how much I've already come. If I already come 20 miles, man, 2 more miles doesn't seem that bad. But if all I see is 2 miles and I don't see how far I've come, and 2 miles, like, wow, that's a long time. That's a long distance to go. So it's a perception of truth. Whatever the truth is, guys, your perception on how you see it is more powerful. So if you are stressing yourself out, and especially right now, New Year's resolutions and stuff that are coming up, people have these big monumental tasks they're going to achieve this year and everything else. Maybe they aren't achieved in a year, but they can be started this year, be put into a successful module, a place where they are achieved and they get closer and closer, that you will achieve success eventually. But don't always put time to situations. That's a very, you have a right side and left side of your brain. One's more like creative, one's more analytical. More like due dates and deadlines. That's all you think about, success and numbers and everything else. The other one is a more of creative, the emotional side and everything else. Meditation helps you to slip from one to the other. If you live in an anarchical state so much, like I kind of do that, because I'm very like hard charged and I'm a perfectionist and everything else. Sometimes when you're holding on too tight, you don't get as much done if you just loosen your grip up a little bit. When you loosen it up, like when I make a fist here, man, it's cold outside right now, but if I make a fist right now, like the blood isn't circulating that much, right? I'm holding on too tight. But if I ease up a little bit, the blood flows so much better. It's more a fluid, oiled machine like that. So think about that, guys, a little bit. And everyone has different stresses, and every stress is self-created. It's a perception on how you see it. There's a solution to that. Exercising is a great stress relief, but there's also other avenues too. And not only other stress relief, but also to ensure that you aren't incurring more absorption of stress. So once you have stress, there's a way to release it. But there's also a process to ensure that you're not going to absorb so much. So there's a two-prong, a start and a back end, to get into a less stressful life. Now, I said before, in one of the other tips, you got to stress the muscles. Now, you do in that period of time of training. But then you have to relax them and recover them and give them the nutrition. That's the growth right there. So you want to hit it and then recover. Hit it hard and recover harder. You know what I mean? But with stress, overall mental stress, man, dude, that motherfucker is, I think, the biggest disease. It is the biggest enabler of anything happening. And it puts you in a self-paralysis state. And if you can slip away from that stress, guys, and the way you do that is really write down everything that's going on. When you write down these big things and you identify them, once you identify the problem, then you actually see what your enemy is. And if you know your enemy, then you can start figuring out its weaknesses on how to defeat it. So try to eliminate stress the best you can. I know it's a tough one, but it's a very, very big. And the other thing about the stress thing, guys, and this is an actual study it's done, and it blew my mind when I researched and read this, man. The cortisol hormone that's released when you're stressed out, right? That enables your body's ability to produce testosterone. Well, here's a study of this going into practice. And this is something we can all relate to. 20 people watching a football game. 10 people voting and cheering for one team, other 10 voting and cheering for the other team, right? At the end of the game, there's a one winner and one loser. So 10 of the people are excited, 10 of the people pissed off, right? Immediately after the game, their testosterone levels, their circulating testosterone levels were measured. The people who are fans of the team that lost, their testosterone level from before the game to after the game, 50% lower. 50% lower. With the people that won the game, their testosterone levels, their circulation went up 35%. I know that seems so weird, but when you're going into an endeavor of going to the gym to transform yourself, you want to have every single tool of your arsenal ready to go. And if you're stressed out about whatever it is, and this is just something, on a third party kind of thing of watching a football game. I mean, maybe these guys had a lot of money riding on the game, so now they're really fucked because now, not only did the team lose, but now they have the bookie coming after them and going to break their knees if they can't pay the bill. I'm not sure. But just a simple game. When the team lost, their circulating testosterone levels dropped 50% compared to the other guys who their team won. Think about that, guys. And you tell me if holding all that stress is worth the price it's going to cost you of the efforts you can't get out of the gym now. This next tip, guys, man, it's a no-brainer, and maybe a tough one this time of year, going into New Year celebrations and a lot of parties and stuff and holidays and stuff and festive times, man. But you gotta limit your alcohol consumption, man. Every time you guys take a drink and you put alcohol into your body, a lot of effects happen. Your body changes its system and how it works. One of the things it does, man, is your endocrine cycle is offset. Your endocrine cycle is what is going to help produce your testosterone. When that's offset, it dramatically lowers your testosterone production immediately. On top of that, when your alcohol goes into your liver, the byproduct of that, once broken down, is something called acetate. Acetate is an enzyme, amino acid, that is a fuel in the body, and it's a very bad fuel. It's kind of like it's a dirty fuel. It's like putting bad gas in your car. Your car doesn't run as well. Well, once that energy source is out there, that acetate that's a byproduct of alcohol from your liver. Well, it's an energy source regardless, and it's a very easy energy source to actually use. So your body naturally is going to do whatever's easiest. So it burns that for energy. And when it burns that, guys, it stops producing fat. It stops breaking down fat. Because it doesn't need to break down fat for energy, because it has this easy energy source to break down. It also stops breaking down carbohydrates and everything else, because acetate's a lot easier to break down than anything. So it's always going to break down the easiest thing for it to produce. That's why when you guys eat a lot of carbs and stuff, you're not going to be burning any fat really, because your body's feeding off the carbs, because that's the easiest way for your body to get energy, carbs. But the problem with acetate, guys, is that not only does your body hit that for energy, so it stops your fat burning process. So when you get a beer gut and everything else, well, it's not because alcohol makes you fat. Just alcohol stops your body from breaking down fat for energy. But the acetate, guys, is a very bad fuel. So whenever you burn bad fuel, your body doesn't work so well. Hence why you have a hangover the next day, because you're burning a shitty fuel. Just like when you go and you do a detox, and maybe you go through a fast where you're not eating the food anymore. So your body therefore has to find energy within itself for energy, for food, and to live and everything else, right? When you're not putting any more food in that starvation mode, well, the first thing it does is starts to detoxify your blood and pulls all the impurities out. It has to get rid of it. It burns them off, like a bonfire, burns them off. Well, that's a bad fuel tool. They're toxins. So when you're going through a fast for the first 3 days, it's terrible. You have headaches and migraines because you're burning a shitty fuel. It's like when you eat crappy food, you get lethargic as opposed to eating good food, and you have a burst of energy. It's such a simplistic, policy. It's really, you got to be brain dumb not to see this. But what it does take is to override the temporary satisfaction of the now for what tomorrow can be the betterment, right? So yeah, we don't go through McDonald's to get that temporary satisfaction of something that tastes good. So, because we're not trying to, satisfy our taste buds or our appetite. We're trying to fuel the body. And when you're thinking that way, guys, yeah, you still fill the body up just as good, but you also fill it up with energy and purpose and pride. You did it right, guys. So the alcohol, guys, when you're doing it, yeah, the endocrine cycle's all fucking jacked up, and your testosterone levels are shot to shit. They're lowered dramatically, and your body's starting to burn off acetate, not burning fat or anything else. So, you're getting fatter and you're lowering your testosterone, and just, think of that, guys. Really think of what you're doing right now and what it does for you. Stop taking today, like this moment right now that's so valuable. It's Saturday night, I gotta go out and party. No, I'm gonna train today. So the next Wednesday, I fucking kick ass. That's how you have to think of it. Do I want to take a drink? I don't know. Maybe you do. But make sure when you take that drink, you know the damage it causes. And if the reward of having that drink, for whatever reason, makes you feel all great and everything else, if the reward is greater than all the damage that you now know it causes, then go ahead and have that drink and enjoy it. For me, I would say it'd be hard for someone to enjoy something that causes such an adverse effect on mission success, that's so dedicated to go in the gym and kill it so much and do all that work just to come out later and shoot themselves in the foot. It doesn't seem to be the same person of, the mentality of a champion. I'm going to go in there and kill it, and then when I come out here, I'm going to go out there and just fucking kill my efforts, because I'm not going to eat at the right time, and then I'm going to party too much, I'm not going to get my right sleep, or, and then after it all, man, I'm like, oh man, I'm not getting the results, because I haven't done any of these little things right that I can control. So, hey, let me shoot Greg an email and say, hey, let me tell you, hey, what do you think about taking some steroids, man? You see how this starts to go in a downward spiral, man? So anyway, guys, I'm not. I drink. I have a good time with it when I do, man. But you have to understand the damage it causes. And if you're willing to accept that for whatever reason, for the event or the situation, and that's a and everything's a balance, guys. Everything's a balance. Too much of anything is never a good thing. So just know that going into these holidays and these festive periods, know the damage it causes. And if it's still something that tastes good for you, you still want to, take a sip of it, well, you're a grown man, you're an adult, that's on you. Next tip here, guys, man, get sexual. Really get sexual. It's one of the greatest highs of life, man. It's a true blessing in life. It's especially if you're with somebody you really love and stuff. But the actual act of having an erection increases your testosterone tremendously, guys. At nighttime, guys, is the biggest time your body's producing testosterone. That's why in the morning you wake up with a stiffy, man. It's called morning wood. I'm not trying to be funny here, but that's what's happening. Your body's producing testosterone all night long, so you wake up with a stiff one. Roll over and have some morning sex, man. Not only are you going to burn some calories, but you're going to produce more testosterone circulating throughout your body, especially if you're going to the gym and getting a hard workout in. That circulating testosterone starts hitting the muscles of targeted regions that you're actually exercising and putting demand and stress on. So being very sexual, guys, is a huge testosterone booster naturally in your body. They did a study where they took a group of people, men, that were watching porn, and everything's about information, guys. And I don't mean to be crude here or anything else, or to embarrass anybody, or to be insult anybody or anything else, but this is just facts. These are just numbers and studies and scientific information. So, put in the back of your head and just take it for what you want. But the study that was doing these guys watching porn, 15 minutes watching porn, their testosterone levels circulating in their body increased over 100%, over 100% in 15 minutes. If you're watching porn, or if you're with your girl, or if you're a girl with your guy, whatever it is, man, having a healthy sexual relationship, all that is just bang for the buck, guys. It's all increasing testosterone circulating throughout your body. That's going to go throughout your body, hit all your muscles, and everything's good there. It's a healthy high, man. It's one of the greatest things on earth, man. So get sexual. I'm not saying you go out and rape motherfuckers or anything else, but be the guy that you want to be. Be the guy you want to be remembered by. Build relationships. Have a healthy sexual relationship. It's going to help you in the gym too, guys. The other thing, guys, your nuts, your testicles. There's a level of performance, a temperature there. You guys that are wearing nut huggers or tight clothes all the time and everything else, kind of doing an injustice to yourself. Your testicles produce a lot of testosterone for your body there, and your testicles should be about anywhere from 2 to 4 degrees cooler than your body is. So if your body is at 98.6 degrees, well, you're about 94 to 96, somewhere in there is where your testes should be. And if you're wearing tight clothing all the time, it doesn't function as well. So therefore, if it doesn't function as well, it's not producing as much testosterone. So you're lowering your natural levels of testosterone in your body. It's kind of like if you cut the lawn and it's 70 degrees outside, nice and cool, it's a nice day, all good to go. You just cut the lawn, having a good time listening to music. But if it's 105 degrees, 110 degrees outside, man, and you're cutting that lawn, man, you're like, dude, you're getting lightheaded, you're sweating your ass off, man. You're not feeling so well, your productivity goes down. Well, same with your nuts, man. So air them out a little bit, man. Or just know that, when you go to buy another set of Calvin Kleins, man, or whatever you buy, man, switch it up a little bit. Maybe free ball a few days. I don't know, man. But just throw in the back of your head, all these things maybe seem like small little things, but that's what wins it. It's the small things that add up to be the big things. Not just in your character, but in your practices too. In life, as competitive as it is out there, the differential of victory is so small. It's those seconds, those inches, those little tiny elements of degrees that really are the details of success. I say the devil's in the details. Well, all your dreams are in the details too. If you break it down into the small things and you master the small things, the big things are just a a collective effort of a lot of small things to make a big thing. So you can't master the big thing without first mastering the small things. So when I say you air your nuts out, I mean air them out. You know, it helps the system's success. Why do anything that doesn't help the system? You know. Last tip, guys, I got for you guys, and you know, so I don't know, it's about 10 or so tips here. The last one's about the timing of your workout. When do you work out to maximize your testosterone movement? So I've said this a bunch of times throughout this video blog, is that your testosterone is at its highest level, it's produced the most at nighttime, right? So if you think of that, two different aspects. There's an entry and an exit that are very beneficial, a lot more than in the middle of the day. And my voice is getting a little choppy here because it's like literally, like, I don't know if you can see my breath, is that cold. It's like freezing here in California right now. So if you work out at nighttime, right, and you just create all that demand in your body, and you take your protein, all your nutrition right after the workout, right, and then you're going to sleep, and your body's not moving, your body's repairing and rebuilding your muscles, at the time of which your body's producing the most circulating testosterone throughout the body, of which has already begun in the gym. Because you're lifting those big muscle compound movements, putting a lot of demand and stress, all these other tips I've been saying, all that, so the testosterone circulating has already been created, your body's producing it, and now you're going to sleep resting, rebuilding, with all that testosterone functioning. Man, I think that's going to be a recipe of getting the most out of that gym, if you can time it that way. That's the entry level. The exit level is when you wake up in the morning. Your body's been producing testosterone all night long. You have this high level circulating testosterone in the morning. Going to the gym for that state, hitting it hard, is you're getting the most out of it at that period of time. Where in the evening, you're kind of like, you've already gone through the entire day. Your energy levels might be a little low. It's kind of like you're kind of worn out a little bit and everything else. But what you're doing is you're increasing the testosterone in that gym, then going to sleep, recovering without it moving as your body repairs and rebuilds. So there's good and bad on both of these. But in the morning, you're starting off with circulating testosterone at its peak already, where in the evening, maybe not as much circulating. So you have to ramp it up. But in the morning, it's already ramped up, ready to go. The downside in the morning is this. After you finish your workout, you don't get that luxury of going to bed, resting and recovering, where your body repairs and rebuilds all night long. What you're going to do is, you're taking your nutrition and everything else, and you just work yourself, but then you're forced to continue to work your body in one way or another. So through work, if you're construction worker or something, man, your body isn't getting that much of a rest because you know a lot of manual labor there. So sometimes, there's good and bad of each one. You should try both of them, both situations, to see where and when you try to go for like a month or two, really put a valiant effort into it. So you can have a good control study to see if it works better in the morning or better in the evening, okay? I think either the morning or the evening are much better. When I say evening, I mean like right before bed. It's much better than doing it in midday. In midday, your testosterone levels are lower. You're already working your body before, so it's worn out a little bit. You have to work it afterwards, so you don't get that recovery process. So it's probably the worst time to do it. But if that's all you got, it's better to do it then than to not do it at all. The other thing about the morning that's really good, it sets you up for success. I always say everything's a mind-body connection, man. So you go in the morning, that testosterone is circulating throughout your body at its highest peak at that point. You go there, you have a hard workout when everyone else is kind of just getting up and going. You go to work that's fucking pumped, man. Mentally sharp. You can get more out of your day than most people. So there's another benefit in the morning. So but try them both and see which one works out best for you guys. Anyway, guys, I hope that helps, man. It's a long one here. It's a lot of information, guys. But take those tips into account, man. That's the way you take the most out of who you are, to go to your highest potential of who you are. Increasing your testosterone levels to what your body naturally produces, and helping your body to produce it. Also, not only to produce the testosterone, but to decrease and to flush out any sort of estrogen levels. All that stuff is going to make the efforts in the gym turn into greater return of investment and results. It's about being smart. Again, before we build the body, we got to get the mind right, man. When you're mentally in sync, then you have the right instruction to put this guy to use to get the most effectiveness out of your time, in the gym, your time on target and everything else. And I'm going to end this email off on a positive state, man. I'm not going to go back to the beginning of it all. Because that's not the way to go, guys. And I promise you guys, you know, if you put the work in the honest way, then the success that comes out is earned. It's that kid that earned the dollar, wasn't given the dollar. There's so much, yeah, you got the money, right? That's great. And you had the ability to make it again, which is even greater. But along the way, you learned what that dollar values, the meaning of it. It wasn't just like someone gave you a trophy. You earned that trophy. And by earning that trophy, you understand the value of what it stands for. And it doesn't stand as some like showboat item I get to flaunt around. It's about who you were before, the work you put in, and who you turned out as. And it's that progression right there, that echelon, that really is the backbone of every champion, of every successful person, of everyone remembered. And we're going into 2013, guys. There's going to be a lot of challenges, and we're in a tough economic way right now with the fiscal cliff, and politicians. Anyway, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of things, But in order to really have an impact, you gotta fix yourself first, And once you fix yourself, man, and you really love yourself, man, that's when you can really lend a hand of love to somebody else. It starts with you, man. Before you start pointing that finger at everybody else, know there's 3 pointing back at you. Having the knowledge, the education, to know what the right way to do it. Well, then you apply that, and then the results you get are earned, not given, cheated, or anything else. You don't ever have to wonder what if. You never have that to worry that, hey, who's coming around the corner that's going to call me out as a bullshitter. It's just, there's a sense of freedom with that. And when you do it that way, it's like, wow, that felt good. And it's addicting. And you do it again and again, and you just start, boom, become the person you want to be, man. 2013, Happy New Year, guys. Hope it's the best year ever. Great Plitt. Thanks for watching.